Ever wonder what really goes on inside an AI startup? You've probably seen the headlines, $50 million raised in 6 months, this app can write like Shakespeare, or AI startup founder sleeps under his desk for 100 days straight. Yeah, it sounds like sci-fi mixed with startup fairy tales. But trust me, what actually happens behind those doors is messier, weirder, and sometimes way more interesting than you think. Let's pull back the curtain a bit, shall we? The idea phase, coffee, chaos, and whiteboard, it all usually starts the same way: 2 or 3 overly caffeinated people huddled in a too small apartment, scribbling half-formed ideas onto whiteboards that haven't been cleaned in weeks. The energy? Electric. The plan? Non-existent. The buzzword density? Off the charts. You'll hear stuff like, let's train a fine-tuned LLM on veterinary records, or, what if we made an AI that writes breakup texts with empathy? And somehow, amidst that chaos, something actually sticks. Here's the funny thing: most successful AI startups don't start with some deep algorithmic insight. They start with a problem someone really hates dealing with, and a team stubborn enough to build a scrappy solution. Tech meets triage. The MVP that shouldn't work, but kinda does. You know those super polished AI demos? Yeah, those are usually held together by string, duct tape, and one unpaid intern's sanity. We're talking janky codebases, weird data pipelines that break if you sneeze near them, and models that hallucinate if they haven't had their morning API call. But here's the kicker: it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to work well enough to get someone to say, huh. That's kind of useful, because in startup land, good enough buys you time, and time buys you investors. And investors? Oh boy. That's a whole thing. VCs, hype, and the illusion of having it together. You think pitching an AI startup is about showing off your tech? Nope. It's about storytelling, and honestly acting a little delusional, but in a charming way. Picture this. You're in a Zoom call with a VC who's hearing 5 other pitches that day. You've got 15 minutes to explain why your janky chatbot trained on Reddit threads is going to revolutionize customer service. The secret? Confidence. Swag. And a very clean pitch deck. What you don't say, your fine-tuning dataset is mostly Stack Overflow posts. You still haven't figured out how to make it stop recommending pineapple on pizza to everyone. What you do say, we're seeing 40% week-over-week engagement growth. Our core model outperforms GPT-4 on niche tasks like sarcastic tech support replies. Somehow. It works. Scaling? More like controlled chaos in the cloud. Let's say you do get funded. Congrats. Now comes the real panic: scaling. Because that prototype you whipped up on Collab? Yeah, it's not ready to serve 10,000 users. Not even close. Suddenly you're juggling Kubernetes clusters, hugging your GPU quotas like a lifeline, and praying that your inference server doesn't crash during TechCrunch coverage. Also, side note, everyone in your Slack now talks in GitHub emojis. It's a thing. But here's the wild part: despite the mess, stuff starts working. You hire real engineers, not just your buddy from college who dabbled in Python. You clean your codebase. You set up actual logging. It's not perfect, but it's real. And real is rare. The human side, burnout, breakthroughs, and 3 a.m. epiphanies. Now, I'd be lying if I said it's all wins and venture checks. There's also burnout, founder fights, and that awful moment when your model just flat out fails in front of your biggest client. And then once in a while there's magic. A moment where the model nails it. Where a customer says, "This saved us hours." Where you remember why you started all this in the first place. That's what keeps these teams going. Not the money. Not the headlines. But the thrill of building something that might just matter. So, what's the big secret? Here's the truth no one tells you. AI startups? They're not run by geniuses or supervillains. They're built by sleep-deprived nerds who care way too much and fake confidence until the math works. Behind every viral AI product, there's a dozen moments where someone wanted to quit. Behind every model that impresses you, there's a repo full of ugly code and notes like, "Fix this later," and yet it works. That's the magic. If you enjoyed this peek behind the curtain, hit that like button and maybe even subscribe. We've got more stories from the AI trenches, tech rabbit holes, and startup chaos coming your way. And hey, got a wild AI idea of your own? Drop it in the comments. You never know, it might just be the next big thing. Until next time, stay curious, stay caffeinated, and never trust an AI that says, "Trust me."